Good morning. It's still morning time. Good morning. How are y'all?
Good. How are you?
A little louder. Let me hear you.
Good.
Okay, I just need to make sure I hear you. Every last voice that's in this room, because you'll hear mine, but your voice is just as important, right? So yeah, Chip knows that I have a background in basketball. Started playing when I was 7 years old, and that's the thing that kept me in school, because I had a rough upbringing. We heard a lot of stories, a lot of struggles to strength, and that's one thing that I teach in my Champs U program, and it's a program I created for athletes and for students as they transition into careers outside of sport or outside of college. Raised by a grandmother who had a sixth grade education, so I had to self-study a lot. But basketball kept me in school until I dropped out. We'll talk about that a little later. So let's talk about these accolades that he wants me to talk about. Worked for the WNBA for 3 years, starting in 2014. I got a commemorative ball the third year, which they didn't even know that was my celebration too. It was their 20-year anniversary. It was also mine because I was a high school dropout. I went back to school because somebody convinced me to, because the WNBA was launched and I wanted to play. Like, I could play basketball. School is like, okay, that's cool, but I can play ball. And so he would not let me on the semi-pro team that they created in Houston, Texas, to become a pipeline into the WNBA. He said, you cannot play because you still have eligibility. I was 23. I told y'all I'm 50. Many people don't believe I'm 50 years old, but I am. I know I look good. We hope that we look that way when we grow up. So 23, dropped out, WNBA, I want to play. My friend who's my coach say, I cannot let you on the semi-pro basketball team because you'll lose all eligibility for college. I'm like, college? Dude, I'm trying to get to the league. What you talking about? I'm trying to go straight to the league. Anyway, he believed in me, so I believed in what he said about me. And I went to college that year, 24 years old, got my first scholarship at 24. Went on to play in JUCO first, then University of Memphis. I had to take the long route, but I became the first college graduate in my family at that time. So I'm very proud of that honor. So we keep going, right? So I got to college, played ball, thought I was going to play in the WNBA, had 5 surgeries. Meniscus, ACL, 2 rotator cuffs, 1 elbow. That career was done, right? And I had visited New York, told the Liberty I was coming, all that. Injuries. So I had to figure out my life after that. And I went through something we're going to talk about in this story, which is identity foreclosure. So remember that word. But I went on after that. In 2013, I moved to New York. God told me to go. I had this voice. It's a voice inside of you. I want to pause right there. There's a voice inside of you that a lot of times you drown out because you're listening to the voices of the world. A lot of times you drown out because you're being negative about your experience. But that still small voice is your voice of truth. And if you sit long enough, learn to meditate, learn to sit with yourself, that is called discernment. It will guide you through your life to make the better decisions. You're going to make some decisions that are not right. But your discernment, that still small voice, will help you make better decisions, I promise you. Okay?
Ms. Pasha, I just want to say that if anybody takes one thing from the conference, from the whole conference, that would be just such a take that.
Yeah, definitely. And so I'm gonna give them a different. Let me get a little deeper here. There are 3 voices in your life: the world's voice, which is all this outside influence; your voice, which is the one that holds on to all the wrongs you do; and then there's that discernment of God's voice, that's loving, graceful. It wants the best for you at all times, and it's forgiving. That's God's voice. Your voice is going to remember all the things that you have done that you didn't get right. The world is going to give you statistics. 51% of marriages end in divorce. That don't mean yours have to. Stop listening to the outside voice. I don't care what their numbers are, because we already know that statistics change all the time. Go inward, okay? So anyway, WNBA, I worked for the WNBA once I got to New York. Did that for 3 years. Was the first female speaking ambassador for the NFL as well, did that. Traveled, was in the Huffington Post, Essence, traveled all over the world speaking, collegiate institutions, corporate America, Wells Fargo, Unilever. I've done a lot of those things. And that's great. That's my resume, right? But it's all about where you start and how you want to finish. So 2 words I want you to think about as we go into this. I want you to think about legacy and leadership. They go hand in hand. What's the 2 words?
Legacy and leadership.
So what is your definition of legacy? Anybody, one person.
What you leave behind.
What you leave behind. Okay, good one. There's no wrong answer. It's your answer. One more. Legacy. What people think about you. Okay, thank you for that. So legacy, to me, is the impact. We talked about that word several times. That you leave on others. It's not about impressing others. It is the impression you leave on others. We're not here to impress other people. Other people don't even know what they want half the time. So why are we trying to impress people that don't care about us, may not like us, and don't know what they want? It is the impression that you leave. It is how you enter the room. It is how people engage with you. It's if you have great character. Right? That's what leaders are. Okay? Leadership. Oh, legacy. I'm sorry. Leadership. And leaders are born when they change their belief about themselves. Say that again.
Leaders are born when they change their beliefs.
We're going to say it all together. Leaders are born when they change their belief about themselves. There's no leader that's born as a baby. You grow into leadership. It is something that you develop. It is a skill. It is determination. It's how you see yourself. Because how you see yourself matters. Why? Because how you see yourself and the way you see yourself and the way you treat yourself is going to determine how you do that with other people. And if you cannot lead yourself, if you're not developing yourself, if you're not developing your character, you cannot lead anyone, not even yourself. The world will lead you. Other people's voices will lead you. So you got to stand flat-footed and be confident in what God gave you, your gifts, your talents, and who you are, no matter where you came from. You can come from the hood. You can come from being poor. It's a decision that you make to move beyond that. And nobody can make that decision but you. So I teach leadership from a self-leadership perspective because I am a brand consultant as well. So I help clients, high-level clients. Most of my clients, honestly, and this is not a brag, I just want you to know, I went from a high school dropout to working with people whose net worths are $1.1 million, $2 million, $500,000, that ask me for advice. It does not matter where you start. It's how you decide to finish. Self-leadership. Someone read that for me. Volunteer. We'll get active. You, because you're smiling. There we go.
It's about your character and how you show up in the world, not your position.
Say that again for the people in the back.
It's about your character and how you show up in the world, not your position.
Not your position. How many people we know in positions that are not leaders? You have a leadership position, but you acting like a peasant. I'm not going to cuss today because we got kids. And just because you have a title don't make you special. It never will. People will respect you for a title, but your character is what you want them to respect you for, not the title. Your job can end tomorrow, and you won't have that title. Then what? You go into identity foreclosure because you think that because you had that leadership role, that you somebody, and that without it, that you're nobody. Identity foreclosure. It's about your character. What is your character like? How do people experience you? What is the impact that you have on other people? That matters. Because no matter what you do in life, I'm going to tell you this. Your character matters, and the relationship that you have matters. Surround yourself with the right people. and they will be a reflection of you, I tell you. So if you have an issue with one of your friends, self-reflect. They might be showing you something about you, because they wouldn't be comfortable being around you like that if you didn't make them comfortable. Don't make people comfortable who don't have the same kind of values you have, who don't set high standards for themselves, who are not accountable. Because you have those kind of people around you, they'll make it easy for you to become the same. Okay? So you need to be self-led. I already said that how you see yourself matters. Because how you see yourself is going to determine how you move in this world. If you lack confidence, you're going to let other people talk you out of your dreams. Right? How much time I got?
20.
Oh, whoa, we're good then.
Go.
Identity foreclosure. Read that for me.
Believing in what you do more than who you are.
Say it a little bit louder.
Believing in what you do more than who you are.
Thank you. Identity foreclosure. I went through it. Some of the athletes in the back went through it because we thought we are athletes. We are like nobody can defeat us. We're the best. You're the best, right? You knew you were hungry. You knew you were going to hustle. Undefeatable until you are. Titles. Believing in what you do more than who you are. That football game, that basketball game, that career, whatever you do is not of value until you're in the position. You are the value. Everywhere you go. You are the value because there's 10,000 other people doing that job. So what makes you special? The uniqueness and the gifts that God has given you. Always remember that. Positions are positions. They're going to fill those things. You leave a job 2 weeks later, a week later, maybe the next day, somebody's taking your position. You make the difference in the position. You. Sit with that. So I need you to believe in who you are and what you bring to the table. And if you wonder what that is, start thinking about what people ask you for. What do people ask you for constantly? People come to me, have been coming to me since college or before to have conversations, to share, to get my opinion. That has become my business. The gift is always there. A lot of times we're searching out there for it instead of in here for it. It was always there. I just had to develop it. And then be able to sit and get the download and God to tell me, this is what you're supposed to do. I had to go through all the adversities, dropping out of school, injuries. Man, when you lose something that you love, a job, the game, a person, a career, whatever that is, it's devastating. But you got to decide, are you going to turn this struggle into your strength? Move through it, grow through it, and on the other side, I promise you, you're going to understand why you had to go through it. Y'all got that? All right. Now, what is this? This is not a trick question. What is it?
Lion.
Okay. What is the lion known for? Being the what? Say it again. King of the jungle. The lion is known for what?
King of the jungle.
All right. I want y'all to remember that. The lion is known for being the king of the jungle. However, he's not the biggest animal. He's not the biggest. He's not the strongest. He's not the fastest, and he's probably not the smartest. But he's the king. You know why? Because how he sees himself. Your confidence in how you see yourself is going to exude and permeate out into other people believing in you. Now, there are going to be some people that believe in you when you don't. That's God sending you a gift. But at the end of the day, how you see yourself, other people will begin to see you that way. Even if you don't say it, it's your energy. The lion believes he is the king. Now, let's look at this. Let's look at this. He can't fly. Is he bigger than the elephant? He ain't that tall. Okay. I don't know about hyenas. I don't know. I don't think he's faster than a cheetah. or agile as a gazelle. But he's the king because he believes he's the king. And so his belief makes everybody else believe. Makes an elephant believe. This is what, look at nature. Anytime you get confused, pay attention to nature. It's the belief that you have in yourself that will help you in managing to have a successful life. You don't have to be the biggest, the fastest, the smartest, the tallest. You don't have to be any of those. What you have to do is what?
Believe.
Say it again.
Believe.
So the question is, what's your story going to be? My story was high school dropout, athlete that wanted to play in the league, got injured, couldn't play, but I was blessed because I kept going, that God helped me to become a part of the WNBA. So I was coming a part of them, teaching them. I wanted to be in their shoes, but then I was on a stage teaching them. So what does that tell you? If you keep going and don't quit, you can pause, don't quit. Your dreams will come full circle to you. And I didn't think it would come in that way. I didn't see it that way, but it came in a better way because now I get to travel all over the world. Other people pay for my vacations. Other people pay for me to talk. But I had to develop the skills. I had to develop the relationship. I had to develop their trust. And the only way you can do that is developing that within yourself. You have to be self-led. You can make money. However, do you have peace? Do you have joy? Do you have fulfillment with that money, with that house, with that car? Or do you just have a whole bunch of bills and society saying this is success? Define success for yourself. Write that down. Define success for yourself. You are enough. This is just some of the accolades that I've been to Egypt, worked in China, started my own brand. It's Culture Life, shameless plug. Wrote books, first speaking ambassador for the NFL, met politicians. This is my workbook, Champs U. My other workbook, Brand Yourself Like a Champion. This is at the WNBA. This is with the NFL. This is in China, working with athletes. This is Swiss Beats and Victor Cruz. Met all those people from a starting place of deficiency. But my mind was not. Amen. Thank y'all so much. I just want you to know that you're enough and to keep going. And I think that is it. There you go. There you go. How much time we have?